All right, team, welcome to the channel, man. I am stoked to see you. So I got a couple things for you today, and I think we're gonna kind of move around a little bit here and talk about some real things, And I think it's something that, to be quite honest and frank with you, I don't think that we do enough of. I think too many times we stick at the surface, we stick at the things that are hard requirements, observable, but we don't often talk about the things that are not observable. And in my opinion, from my experience, things that are underneath, these are the things that hold everything together. Like, does that make sense? So we're gonna dive into this. So on TikTok, by far my most controversial TikTok had to do with this, and it's absolutely crazy. So, I had shared, and look, I haven't been on TikTok that long, about a week or two or whatever. Bill Stoker, I'm sure if you do TikTok, you probably know way more about it than I do. It's hands down the most controversial one, the most talked about TikTok I had put on yet. And what I came out to say was that people often complain about the new soldiers arriving, right? About the younger generation coming to us and them lacking discipline. Odds are you've probably heard a phrase or two like that in the past. Soldiers these days are utter joke, completely lacking discipline on their phones all the time and just doing whatever, right? Well, as it turns out, man, this is not a new or modern complaint, right? When I first enlisted in the Marine Corps back in '95, my seniors were talking about the new Corps and how weak that we all were, right? My dad was quick to point out that, said, son, when I went through boot camp back in the early 60s, all the Korean vets and the World War II vets that were still around were talking about the new Corps, how much they were weak. And my grandfather, who served in World War II, shared the same thing. Every generation complains about the younger generation. Had somebody share that the military hasn't changed, but the people have, or something to that effect. And I would challenge that to say that technology hasn't changed, or the technology is what has changed. That people have not changed. What makes a person a person? Our psyche, our composition, our bias, our leanings, our shortcomings, our dreams, our desires, man, these things all stay the same. But technology, the ability to communicate rapidly, that certainly has changed. I could be wrong, and I'm sure if you disagree, or agree, I look forward to hearing your comments down below. But I'm going to tell you that ultimately, like a shark attack being in boot camp or in basic training has no bearing on me as an NCO. In fact, that training at all, man, I appreciate everything that those drill sergeants and instructors do. All those instructors who are involved, all the staff, all the cadre, man, they're doing a phenomenal job grinding day in and day out to give that first impression of what the military is all about, to try to transform from civilian to service member. And I'm all for that transformation. But at the end of the day, I can only do one thing, and that's improve my own foxhole. Right? All you can do is improve your foxhole. Does that make sense? So it doesn't matter what another unit does. It doesn't matter what another person's experience was. It doesn't matter even what another company, or in some cases, another team, another platoon, depending on what echelon of where you're at in being a leader. The only thing that matters is your foxhole. Are you going to do right by your foxhole or not? Are you going to complain about the lack of discipline while demonstrating a lack of discipline? If you do, then shame on you. I think too many of us are not woken up to what so many of us need, and that is personal responsibility, accountability, and some dadgum intestinal fortitude. As an NCO, you have the power to say at ease. You have the power to conduct hip pocket training. You have the power to crush everything for the plan of the day. Yet so many times, it's these NCOs who have that power who are complaining about the younger generation. Does that make sense? I mean, what the hell are we doing? Friends, I need you wherever you are at to embrace who you are as a leader, as a person. Look within, apply that first principle of leadership. And get after it. Quit allowing and enabling substandard performance because of a lack of initiative or drive, or because we want to be liked. Regardless of where you're at as a leader, whether you're a team chief, a squad leader, a platoon sergeant, a first sergeant, that can impact all of us. What we need is for all of us to let that ramrod down our back, straighten us up a little bit, so we can face the day and attack it with some dadgum disciplined initiative. Quit complaining and just start executing. That's what our job is, right? Does that make sense? Like, I mean, come on. So the other thing I've got for you, and we'll try to transition into this. Man, if you're stuck, if you feel like you're stuck in a grind, that your job is a means to an end, then maybe it's time to find a new job. Friends, I'm telling you, you need more value in your life than simply earning a paycheck. Now, I applaud each and every single person who may have found themselves in a grind. You're in a rut. You're having a hard time. And regardless of that hard time, you're not quitting. You're pushing forward day in and day out. Maybe you're trying to refine yourself. Maybe you're trying to reevaluate where you are in your life and the goals that you have. Man, if you look around out in the workplace around us, right outside in every city, unemployment has been screaming, right? All-time highs. Employers are trying to find people to come back to work. And we've been watching, a lot of assistance in the programs to help folks out as they try to figure this out. For many of us, of course, we didn't have a choice, right? We go to work when they tell us to go to work, and we stay home when they tell us to stay home. But that's not the case for a lot of folks out there. And there are many people who are out there who have continued to work day in and day out because they didn't have a choice. They didn't have a choice because their values and their virtues of the why that they do and what they are doing was not of or for themselves. It was for their family, right? For their spouse, for their kids. Man, that's admirable. That's something to be proud of. But friends, if that's gone on too long, then I think we need to re-look at why we have a profession. Why are we doing what we are doing? Because what you do on a day-to-day basis, if that end state is a paycheck, if that end state is to enjoy a weekend, if that end state is to have a little money for a vacation once or twice a year, then I think we need to relook at this. You shouldn't be spending 90% of your time trying to have value in 10% of your time. Your life and your profession has value and meaning, but it can only have meaning if you know why you're doing what you're doing. So, why do you serve? Leave a comment. Let us know. Let's enlarge this conversation of why we serve the people of these United States. I think it's an important conversation to have as we look across our formations and even ourselves and understand that people are when they originally enlisted, right, to serve, they may have come in thinking, well, I don't know what to do with my life. Or maybe they thought this has been a family tradition. Maybe they thought, man, I watched the attacks on 9/11, and that's why I enlisted. Maybe they thought, I just want to make a difference. I just want to do something with my life that holds meaning. Maybe they needed to pay off some school debt. Did why you enlist, has that changed why you have stayed in? That's another one, right? Because I think for some people, it may do that. Ultimately, though, I think this is a question we have to ask ourselves and re-ask ourselves on a daily basis. Why do you do what you do? Is it a matter of being in alignment with your values or virtues and your beliefs? I'm telling you that it does, right? Regardless of whether we're not aligned to ourselves or not, it does. What we choose to do on a day-to-day basis, the impact that we have, I'm telling you, it has meaning that far extends our observation. And we can't wait until we arrive somewhere before we start taking things seriously. Before we even start taking our jobs, you can't wait until you are that platoon sergeant before you start taking your life serious, in your career serious. Like, man, you got to do that now. What you are doing has an impact on your life 6 months down the road, 12 months down the road, 10, 20 years down the road. And that's not to say that you're bound to your past mistakes or that what got you here is going to get you there. But it's laying a foundation. I'm telling you, friends, what you do has meaning. And I think until we understand that, then sometimes it can be hard to have pride in what we do. You wake up, you go to a formation, you do some PT, it becomes routine. You go to your motor pool on Monday, and you pass out and you work on some 5988s, and it becomes routine. And you start to lose the sense of wonder of why you came in. Well, here's something to think about. I think if all of us, any of us, if we watched a motivational movie, maybe it's We Were Young once, maybe it's Black Hawk Down, What's your favorite war movie? One of the ones that really tore me up was Flags of Our Fathers. I think if all of us watched one of these movies, the hair on the back of our neck is going to stand up. We're going to get a little choked up. We're going to feel something deep within us. It's going to stir something up. And that's regardless of where somebody is at in their journey, whether they're brand new and coming in, whether they're jaded and on their way out, maybe they're being pushed out. As a leader, it's up to us to do everything we can on a day-to-day basis to find some way to reach in and touch that those senses. We need to connect that with the routine, with the organization, back with the individual on a day-to-day basis, because what you do matters. And when we watch these movies, man, we get this sense of feeling of their lives mattered. Well, friends, you don't have to be the one who receives a medal. You don't have to be the one who is visible out in front of formation to matter. I don't care if you're a private. I don't care if you're a first sergeant. Every person in the organization has value and meaning. I hope you know that, friends, because it makes all the difference in whether you just have a job and you're working from paycheck to paycheck, whether you're working, and grinding 40, 50, 60 hours a week just to enjoy a couple hours on the weekend, or whether you truly find value and meaning in what you do. I hope that makes sense. If you need some encouragement along the way, leave some comments down below. You can always reach out to me at Sokermatic or harold.w.soker if you're on Global. Look in the About section, sokermatic@gmail.com, right? We can be here for one another. Friends, until then, you stay out there, you keep grinding, and you stay stoked.